Okay, if this is working, if the mic's working, if everything's working. Yep, looks good. Well, yeah, excuse me. Some of you may be noticing the return of the face cam. We'll see if it lags things up, because that was my main problem before the last update, and I haven't tried it since. So, it's back, and what are we doing today? We're continuing the trials of the Jeskai control list. Guess this is too slow, right? And yeah, that's what's up. We're Trials of Jeskai. Sitting at 4-0, I believe. Let me check. Yep, 4-0 at the moment. And we're gonna kick things off with Prayer Stream. Make our mana hopefully silky smooth. And, oh, it's gonna be one of those laggy games. Hopefully that's not due to face cam. I'll be trying to keep an eye on that. But let me know if it's laggy out there. Just give me the comments. Hit me with it. We'll see what happens. Because I'll keep the face camera around if people like it and it's not too laggy. That's my requirement set. I'm definitely on a laggy connection with this opponent. The Twitch stream doesn't seem too bad. But you know how it is. You play control against lag, and the playing field is definitely shifting. Here comes a sanctuary. Okay, we can telling time this turn if we want to, but if we do it next turn, we have that evolving wilds option. But I think it's right to do it here. We don't have a lot going on in our hand. None of those are spell shrivel, but we're certainly going to take the lightning and the censor. We don't need the evolving wilds. And I'm going to at least threaten counter magic with Island Go rather than evolving wilds go. Sometimes you should represent your opponent's worst fears. Alright, what's it gonna be, Jackal Sleeve? Opponent makes their first move, and it's a Cliffhaven Vampire. Definitely a worthy censorable card, plus we put the fear of a censor into our opponent. And there we go. Hello, Mortivore. I don't know how to say R-Y-O-U-N-A. I want to say Aruna, but I'm not sure. So maybe you can set me straight. I don't know. I'm going to keep playing out untaps since I have things to do with the mana. Alright, opponent, what have you got? What's it gonna be? Perhaps a black-white ally life-gainy thingamajig, gifted Aetherborn. A little pain in the butt, but nothing I can't deal with. I think I'll cycle this now that he's at 5 mana and not using all of it. We sent the message. He knows about censoring things. I did not pause that. And now I think we can safely harness this thing. We don't have any other sources of energy, so harness isn't going to pick off something bigger anytime soon, plus we have a cast out to help with that. Now we can play some other lands. Yep, we are working. This is the Trials of Jeskai control as we see if we can qualify it for the end of the season's events, festivities, the quest for the best series. We're at 4-0. We have to get to 9-1 or 10-0 And yeah, there's no doubt, Unknown in chat saying that Cast Out is a good card. There's no doubt about that. Especially if you can slow your opponent down enough to keep it effective. And we're hitting the lands, there's no doubt. Is it time for Disciple of the Ring? Our opponent's also hitting their lands, so let's see. What's a Disciple killer, right? Probably a 3-mana spell like Anguish Unmaking, then they can pay 2. So now is not the time for Disciple of the Ring, because we couldn't prevent it from dying to, say, a Murder or an Anguish Unmaking. Shaolin wants to know if we're going to test any 4-color decks. Not on my radar. I don't know what decks require 4 colors anymore, to be honest. Seems like that kind of thing is in good shape. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we can play this now. If you can tell me a 4-color deck and tell me why it needs each color in it, I will be intrigued. And maybe I would play one. Because that's the way to get me to do something like that, is intrigue me. So, like, what would you add to this? Black? Tell me what black would do for this deck. Like, what cards does this deck need in black? That's what I'm curious about. Alright, time to play this game. I like the 3-color mana basis. We have a debate over how janky. Hey, we have a concession. We'll take it. We got things to do. Let's just take our opponent's word for it and say that that is a win. These control games take a long time, so I'm gonna accept most concessions. Sweepers. Well, I don't think sweepers are all that good. I mean, 2 is... I think that there's a 2 minimum, but I feel like there's definitely a 4 maximum. I think that really puts a cap on how many sweepers you need, and you can get 4 out of most color combinations easy. Like Jeskai, Radiant Flames, Planar Outburst, done. Or Esper, Languish, Planar Outburst, done. Or Languish, Yeheni's Expertise, done. Grixis, Radiant Flames, Yeheni's Expertise, done. I think anybody who's running like 6 sweepers or whatever is asking to get beat to death by vehicles and planeswalkers. That's my opinion. Connect taking a nap. My camera just turns itself off sometimes. Not sure why. Can't explain. And then it has to find me again. Like, here, let's see how good these are. As we drew both of our sweepers. Let's see what happens. We have some interesting points, such as Languish and Yeheni's are the best. We have a statement that there are big butts in the format, so Radiant Flames is less useful. I don't know. I haven't run into that issue. I can't agree with that one yet. Do you have something specifically in mind? Might help me understand. Oh, what's out of Radiant Flames range that they play on turns 1 through 4 that you would be worried about? The gods, I understand, but the gods are also... You can turn that stuff off. Yeah, you can have that. That's cool. I would love for you to discard a card. Let's do it. Sweet. Alright, let's get the tower down. See if we can entice our opponent into putting out more things. Greenbelt Rampager. A rare 2 of. Does have some issues casting it. Not something I'm particularly afraid of or have had too much trouble with. But that, I mean, that definitely counts, there's no doubt. You're right. That has 4 toughness. Radiant Flames ain't gonna hit that. So we take our punch, and this is great. Unfortunately, we didn't draw land, so we're gonna have to skip a land drop. But I feel fine casting this here in this spot. Could have also played kefnet and tried to get more out of it, but with a second one, I don't see the need. And here comes more dorks. All right, the copters arrived. Excellent. Anything else? Nope, pass and turn. And let's hit land. Nope, not yet. They're gonna make me wait for it. Actually, I think I'm gonna cycle for it. Let's see if we can hit. Nope. We'll just have to buy time till we can. Here comes copter number 2. Boo. Not cool, man. Not cool. Here comes copter number 1. Let's just light that up. And the good news is any instant or spell will let us kill copter number 2 because of dynavolt tower. And there's a quick pause. I wonder if there was some kind of a spell he didn't get to cast. The good news is this game doesn't feel as laggy, so I'm starting to think maybe it's not my connect. Well, that'll do the job. I think we'll just go for it and try to find those lands rather than trying to surprise him with our tower. We need them lands. Yes, we do. That's gonna come in tapped, but I have nothing else to cast, so I may as well. And I don't have a use for the extra energy right this second. All right. Our opponent, maybe some weird version of Thopters. Aggressive blue-red. Interesting collection of cards there. We're going to take this poke from the Arsonist. We'll zap it on end step if our opponent does nothing, because we have no problem refilling our tower. And they are, in fact, doing the nothing. Potentially holding up counter magic, but I don't find that very likely. Select for inspection. Okay. Ain't that something? Yeah, you got me, I suppose. I'm not going to be sore about it. Keep it rolling. The draw to the go. Select for inspection. What's going on here? There, the Arsonist is back. Does that mean it's copter time? The Dreadnought. Okie dokie. Nothing. Well, let's fire off the glimmer. Could have left a red up in case I draw magma spray. Do I want more land? I think more land is like the only thing I need. But this one comes in tapped, so I'm gonna bottom that one and keep this one. Alright, now let's see how you're doing, little Arsonist. I'm just gonna keep shooting that stuff down because I have so many ways to refill the copter. My opponent doesn't have any other small creatures, or they'd likely cast them, so Flames is probably just going to be a 1-for-1 at some point. And I've made my peace with that. Kefnet, you can hang out. I want to keep using cards like Glimmer and Harness Lightning for right now. No rush to deploy the god. And here comes Start Your Frickin' Engines. Let's see, 7, 12, 1, 2, 3... The big 7-drop. What can I do about that? I could block it with Ephemeral. If I do that, I can also Harness Lightning away the copter. I could also go up to 5 energy with Glimmer, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can't kill it with the lightning. I don't think there's any chance of countering this unless I find another censor. I guess I could go for that, though. That's probably better than giving up my fumarole. Although, let's see, block with fumarole negates the entire damage, and I get to shoot down the copter, but he gets a loot. I guess, yeah, we'll go with this. We might hit censor. Nahiri's great. We do not hit censor, but it's okay. We're gonna take a serious punch here. But I think we can prevail, because then we'll exile with Nahiri, and then hopefully set up. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm leaning in too much. I've got to knock that off. I'm not used to having this thing out. Let's see if I can prop it a little bit. Connect does get strange with me. All right, we'll try something like that. Seems smooth enough. It's tempting to drop kefnet here, but I don't want to just lose to a fleet wheel cruiser, so we'll leave up the lightning. It's also tempting to leave up a potential counterspell, but I don't think my opponent can afford to play around it anyway, so I'm going to play the tap land. I don't think they would. I think if I'm in their shoes, I go for it no matter what, so bluffing a counter, pointless, I think. Saheeli Rai, hello. Let's see if we go to the dome with Saheeli. Or if we go after Nahiri. Goes to the dome. Alright. If my opponent's packing exquisite firecraft in this spot, not a lot I can do. Oh, never mind. There is something I can do. Isn't life beautiful? So, I want to play Chandra. I want to kill the Rai. The Rai needs to go. Then I hold up an alliance at instant speed, which means I just want to loot with Nahiri. So is there anything I want to discard? I don't think I need Radiant Flames anymore, so I'll loot away the Radiant Flames. Cast out. Well, that also solves the Nahiri problem and lets me leave more mana up. Whereas Chandra, if my opponent has another select for inspection, it doesn't kill Saheeli Rai. So, or any kind of instant speed 1 mana spell. So cast out's the safer move. And I think we'll just go ahead and take that route. And then we'll leave up the alliance. And hope that our opponent goes for a fleet wheel cruiser or something of that ilk. Hello, 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 people dropping in. Nice to see ya. If I went 4-color control, I would go Grixis, Splash, and Cast Out. And a greedy Gideon. Sounds greedy. Reeks of greed, homie. But hey, that's you can do whatever you want. It's magic. It's your world. We just live in it. So is it time to like Chandra punch the face? Seems pretty good. I would love a counter in my hand though. I have a censor, but that's very unreliable. My opponent hasn't used all their mana in quite some time, so I'm gonna just pitch that. And like I said, I would love a counter in my hand, so I think I'm just gonna pass, do a huge pull from tomorrow, and then move into a Chandra. Six mana. Well, there's punishment for the censor situation. So I can let the opponent draw 3. No big deal. And then I can harness lightning that thing, maybe? Well, it's close. Well, after I cast pull, I can harness lightning it. A little bit of punishment here. But I'm not going to try to draw into a counter. He just gets to draw 3. My dog is visiting. My dog is down here. You probably can't see her because she's very low to the ground. She is a sweetie. Coming to say hello and wish me luck in my gaming endeavors, I'm sure. I'm sure that's what she would say. Alright, let's loot again to start. Get the dual land, always nice. Finally have the shrivel. Puts me up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10. So lightning for 2. Shrivel for 3. And disciple for 5? Seems pretty good. Also pretty good protection from burn spells. So disciple can also just for 1 mana tap down Gearhulk, right? Let's check the graveyard. Plenty of fuel. So let's get you online. The great equalizer of Magic Duels right here. Okay, we're going to go to end step. How many cards do we have? 9. So I think straightforward discard are the 2 lands. That will be the discards. And now we have kind of a combo. We could have even done it instead. We could have tapped him down with Disciple, exiled with Nahiri last turn, which I missed a little bit. Do we care about that? Nah, don't care about that. Going to tap you down, because this way if he somehow counters or like spell shrivels my Blessed Alliance, I don't lose for it. Gonna pause, maybe another select for inspection. Yeah, I'm just supposed to harness lightning, because if he has any spells, yeah, that's fine. Just go for that right now. Oops, that wasn't what I meant to do at all. I meant to hit the copter. Slippery fingers. I guess I'll have to do it this way. Slippery fingers. And you've got that card. No problem. Alright. Get you out of my yard. Pesky kids. Let's send over Disciple. Start working on that life total. And what am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 10 mana. So this leaves up Gearhulk, Spell Shrivel, Blessed Alliance, Harness Lightning. I could just pass with everything up. What's in the graveyard? All kinds of good stuff. But I don't need everything. Just need a few good things. So what if I pass with 7 up? That leaves up Gearhulk or Blessed Alliance, Kicked, and Counterspell backup, plus Disciple activations. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think that'll be the line. There's absolutely no need to necessarily play something. I agree with that. But there also isn't a huge downside to doing it. At this point, if we both spend our turns building our board, it'll eventually just get smashed anyway. Plus this could happen. So there's that. Alright, we could exile this so he doesn't draw the card, but I don't care. And on end step, could do the tap exile thing again. Could spray something, I could lightning something, so many options. I think we'll just go with this. Since there's nothing he can do that I can't still counter with 2 mana up. Alright. Let's think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 6, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we could go for the kill. Again, though, no rush. It's control, right? What do we care? What do we care if we kill right now or later? So, let's just exile you. We're on 8. Don't even need to play anything. It's kind of disgusting. It would probably take me longer to activate Disciple the amount of times needed versus just doing nothing. So I think we'll play Gideon and make a knight. Hold up, double Shrivel and Gear Hulk and have fun with this. There is a question if I'm going to be testing any flavors of Mardu. Oh yeah, Mardu will definitely be in the running because it's still fun policey. I'm trying to give the viewers who hate Mardu, of which there are many, trying to give them a break. Give them a little Mardu break is all. Well, the tap out makes me say why not. And there's the concession. All right. SCGB, I'm finally back, says Al. Hi, Al. Or AI. I think I've been calling you Al. Al T91. Alright. I plan on rolling for a little while more today. I don't have pressing issues, so I'm going to take a quick breather and a bathroom break and grab a beverage and come right back. So hang out. I'll be returning very quickly. What the heck is going on? My Connect is twitching. It's pretty funny. Let's see. 6-0. 6 and 0 is the number. So 3 more wins and we'll throw Jeskai into the running. Then we have to go back. Grixis isn't done yet. We made a few small changes to the deck because of something macro I want to work on for a while, which is the debate between telling time, censor, or both. I'm trying both, seeing if I can get away with a lower land count. Especially with Dynavolt Tower in the deck, I think telling time's better in those scenarios. Now we know I'm not a huge fan of the card, we just don't have a lot of other great choices. I'm definitely, with Dynavolt Tower, I'm not as big on the illuminations as I was. I like that card, just not with Tower. I need to cast spells with Tower. What? Hundo stack? That's a problem. We all know that Hundo stacks are green and include Gaia's Revenge. Yeah, I'll try it. We don't have white mana, but I think we'll find it. Oh boy. Hundo stack on the moles. Not good. Not good, bro. Not good. I accept this concession. Domination. I don't even want to know what's in there. I don't want to. I don't want to play a game that's revolves around fogs. Let's see if we can find someone else. Yeah, that one will go down in history as the best win of all time, huh? 7-0! Easy peasy. You wonder how I get good records on Xbox. You just saw it. I do not deny. I do not deny where this comes from. I do not pretend otherwise. We're doing the trials for the quest for the best Gemini, so while I'd love to take you up on that offer, I guess we can take a break from the trials and do it. You want to do it? We can do that. Can you wait one game? It looks like I have somebody on the hook here. Let's see, what do we got here? Rank 20. So I think I'll just go get a blue so I can hold up these cards next turn. If I get land screwed because of it, I'll be depressed, but I think we got to go for it. We have all the possible land fixings, so the mana will stay hopefully smooth. Ah! It's Jotty Offshoot. Not a card I'm actually scared of. I'm actually really happy to see that. Alright, play you. And now we look like blue-white tower control. Spawn, what's up? Despawn! Hello, welcome. No. Denied. You've been censored, homie. And we definitely, I think, do not want to run out the tower here. It's a Reclamation Sage target. We'll play the Spires instead. What's it gonna be? That's not a very good card, and Cast Out deals with it perfectly, but it's hard to turn down this opportunity. Yeah, I think we just want to keep his draw awkward and miserable. And we have a pause to the double censor draw. Oh no. Maybe a message of hate. Awaiting my message of hate, sir. Or just the brutal timeout approach. Okay, let's see. So now it's probably tower time, although the Rex Sage would make me sad. I don't have better options, and I don't want this Rex Saged. So let's try to draw it out, shall we? We could also try to line up the Evolving Wilds with the Telling Time, but I don't think the returns on that are worth it compared to having untapped mana. Shaolin says that the best part of consoles, like the Xbox here, is the hate mail. You may be right. You may be right. And we've got Playland Go. Sweet. I can play this game. Playland Go is my forte. Here comes take inventory, that's fine. And he's pausing himself in response to his own take inventory. What's it gonna be? Does he think I won't counter it because he can pause me? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. No, you're cool, man. I'm not gonna mess with your inventory. You take your inventory. I won't stop you. I too have taken inventory. I worked in retail. Inventory's hard. Oh my. I love Disciple, but now's not the time. And I want Pull to transition to the later part of the game, and Gideon's awesome, so... Gonna put Disciple on the bottom. We'll find her later. We can shuffle her back into the deck. We'll find Evolving Wilds, I'm sure, something like that. And since I don't have a counter spell, let's just do this. See if our opponent has Imprison in the Moon, or some of the other blatant Planeswalker hate that just runs rampant in the format now, making all of our Gideons less fun. There's commit. That counts. I has been committed. Now, we could cycle this and play Gideon again, but we can also do the same thing on our turn, so let's see what we draw. And then we have to decide, is it worth it to play Gideon again? To the loss of a cast out, is it worth it to play Gideon again? At the cost of a cast out. It's a curious spot, right? It allows us to basically play Gideon for 5. But this is such a great universal answer, but our opponent hasn't given us anything worth hitting with it. And it's hard to even imagine what that could be. Our opponent may have the plan of memory next turn, and if they do that, we want Gideon. So I guess I have to do it. I don't have to, but I think it's right. Could have attacked with the knight, but I think I'm just wasting my time. There's no world in the... No universe where my opponent doesn't block. At least they shouldn't. They should always block that situation, because Jadi's just not doing much. Alright, now the choice. Now see, it would be much more tempting to memory if I didn't have a Gideon on the table, and then you can make me shuffle Gideon away, but our opponent's going for the top rope. There might be an Ulamog in our future, which we'll have to find a way to deal with. Obviously, cycling the cast out in that case, not as cool. But we have a number of ways in the deck. We just have to pull them from tomorrow. Let's get busy on the beatdowns. Mm-hmm. Part the water veil. That's annoying. Do I try to find a counter for that? I guess I'll try to find a counter for it. Harness Lightning will be fine too. But if I find a spell shrivel, that's better. No such luck. What's a magma spray even do? I guess I can get Jyoti off the field, but who cares, right? But it's better to have a spell than a land. He attacks Gideon. I Stone Rain him. There we go. Now let's see what our opponent can do with their extra turn. See if they have another land for Ulamog. If, in fact, they held on to that. Stone Rain for 2, yeah. Had to throw some energy into it. That happens. I almost said Decimator Wave. Displacement Wave, sure. That's something. Does keep Gideon at bay a little. But I believe we missed our land drop, so if our opponent's sitting on Ulamog, now they're not sitting as pretty as they otherwise were. There's our land. So let's get out Gideon and the tower. I don't want to hold mana up. Not at this point. If Gideon comes down, I want it to hit our permanents, not our lands. Or I said Gideon. If Ulamog comes down, I want it to hit our permanents, not our lands. We'll need our lands to compete, to try to pull a exile effect like a cast out from the deck. Alright, what's it gonna be? Go blue-green ramp. This is a pretty good match. Pieces of the puzzle. Oh boy, what's happening? And they hit a Baral's expertise. That is fine. Jace, Bounty, Druid go away. One Baral's expertise. Can bounce the tower. Crush of Tentacles is waiting though. That is a sweet one. That I have to find an answer to. And the Baral's expertise can move the token out of the way so that Gideon dies. So that will not do. There's a draw. Yeah. So playing Gideon's a bad play, but not the tower. So we know one of the cards. One of the cards is Baral's expertise. Now a Sandworm Convergence. Dear God. Gonna have to find that cast out. So both decks running at full velocity here. This is gonna get good. Alright, the question is, do we pull? I guess we just pull for the max. Playing Gideon is not that good. Especially against the Baral's expertise. We can trade a spray and a tower activation for one of the worms. Here comes a Druid, sure. Here comes the expertise on the tower? I mean, what are you gonna do there? That doesn't achieve much. So that's fine. We need to pull for the max, so I'm not even going to use the spray this turn. We'll use it next turn. And let's see what we hit. Another cast out. That's what we needed. And I think we can afford to lose you. Now, can I take a shot? Brings me down to 3, then back up to 5. It leaves a 5/5 on the battlefield, but we get rid of what? We get rid of a druid? That worth it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our opponent's sitting on 10. They've seen 2 censors, so I don't think they'd play around it. Still, mana is what that deck needs, so I'm going to take my shot. Important to stay cool when things aren't quite going your way, guys. So this turn, we want to cast out the convergence. We want to spray bolt a worm, and then we take 5, and then we glimmer. I could cast out now, but I think there's... I mean, if Reclamation Sage is the draw, right? That's not going to matter. I don't want to do this on end step, because if I do it on end step, he gets another worm. Can do it during the attack step, though. So maybe that'll affect his play. Maybe it'll affect my play. Let's see what happens. We do have to keep Ulamog in mind. We have to find Spell Shrivel or another exile effect. And we're going to have one more 5/5 to deal with. So that's the draw for the turn, I'm sure, is the land. So it's the Brawl's Expertise, target tower. So let's get to work. And let's bolt with tower. We're going to use the glimmer anyway, so let's glimmer now so that we get the energy from it. Don't need those. Definitely need that. So now we can cast out on the convergence. Our opponent hits us for 5, we untap, play Gideon, we have Harness Lightning, Blessed Alliance, and Glimmer of Genius. And I don't think we recast Tower at that point, as we do want at least to try to find a way to Glimmer into a counter if we need to. See how much mana we have. Okay, definitely playing you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus a glimmer leaves up 2. So that we can't glimmer into a counter. Do we have a Spell Shrivel on our yard even? No. So right now I'm a little without a way of killing an Ulamog. Or another convergence. So I'll have to find one. Best way to do that is to draw cards. So casting Glimmer is a priority. What else am I doing besides that? Gideon puts a clock on him. And Harness Lightning removes the worm. So I think that's the route to go. Alright, fun times. I'm just going to do this now. I don't think he runs something like a Blossoming Defense, but why mess around? Why risk it? Our opponent has 11 mana, not 10, or else Censor would work for Ulamog, but not this time. And off the top, we're going for Memory. So Memory means that the Glimmer doesn't matter, but the Blessed Alliance might. At the same time, though, I could draw a counterspell, so I'm just going to let that shuffle up. Definitely helps my opponent more than me, though. The cast out's a welcome addition. Taking some inventory, but it's just going to draw one. They emptied their graveyard. And take inventory number 2, I'll draw 2. Sure. Digging, digging, digging. Since I don't foresee this mattering anytime soon, we're going to go ahead and cycle. We're also going to hold back Nahiri, because if Ulamog does come down, we're going to need to exile that Sandworm Convergence again. Radiant Flames, we can sweep up those Jotties. But that doesn't matter very much. What matters, I think, most is a big pull from tomorrow if I run into something I can't handle. Letting my opponent have a lot of life, not the greatest, but I'm not gonna be too worried about it. A fog, okay, he's fog. It's a fog deck. Fog gain 5. Alright, hopefully I'll get a chance to pull. But if my opponent has a big spell, that may not happen. A Nissa's Renewal, okay. No problem. Making my spell shrivels bad unless I find a lot of them. Yep. Okay, opponent's thin in the deck. We're gonna be on a bit of a clock. And they're gonna have a bajillion life. So this is gonna get all kinds of funky. Alright, draw it up. Probably not what our opponent wants to see the most. And still, can't find a spell shrivel to save my life. Very interesting the way this game's played out. Be curious to know if my opponent's playing around counter magic at all. I don't know if it would be right to do so. Probably not, to be honest. Right? This time I am gonna flames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 discards. One can be a magma spray. One probably should be a censor. That makes sense to me. Opponent's at 52. Gotta start the party somewhere. Fog number 2. Oh, this is priceless. Could start ticking up Nahiri, but to what end, right? If it gets exiled by Ulamog, that's a big mistake. So, yeah. Weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, and yep, censor 5. See what happens. The draw is... I mean, I'm sure they've thinned their deck to the max. Here comes pieces of the frickin' puzzle. Nothing I can do, but we don't need to let him know. And we hit a scatter to the winds. Ooh, our opponent's gonna be the first one to cast a counterspell this game, and a crush of tentacles is, I'm sure, the takes. Oh no, leaves the scatter. I can't believe it. Brawl's expertise and Crush of Tentacles leaves the scatter. Alright, well that will get him back a Sandworm Convergence and make an 8/8. Harness Lightning doesn't kill the 8/8 at this time. Cast Out is going to come back to my hand, so I can just replay 2 Cast Outs if I want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So I can't Gear Hulk and Cast Out. Yeah, this is fine. If he had done this on second maze, he could have guaranteed himself a Sandworm. Oh, he has the other scatter. Okay, that's fine. Gonna awaken, sure. That's why he didn't take it. So his last card is another Brawl's Expertise. take that away. Although we could just exile it with the Nahiri. Now we can bolt that. But we gotta fight. I'm enjoying this fight. I hope you are too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lands. Not good options for Gear Hulk. But Ambush Gear Hulk might work. Of course, Gideon token hits Baral's expertise. Needle Spires can deal 2, then Harness Lightning can deal 6. So that's pretty good. Let's do this main phase before he untaps. And then pass the turn. And the draw is take inventory for 3, I think. That's pretty good. Baral's expertise for nothing? To play something? What's going on? Bounty. Okay. That's exilable. Ulamog. Okay, well, we gotta draw that spell shrivel now. Let's see what he targets here. Opponent is going for it. There's a censor in our yard. I believe our opponent just tapped out. I believe our opponent is tapping out because of that Baral's expertise. Like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, they tapped out. Are you kidding? Are you freaking kidding right now? Okay. You go away. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that doesn't do it. So let's... Can we please tap that land for mana? Please? Okay. Come on now. Cast you. Perfect. Sort of. Could be better, but we'll take it. You're gonna get a 5/5. That's fine. And the duel continues. Come on, Funny Air. You can pick your 8/8. Probably salty about that censor because of the way that he chose to tap his mana and play the bounty off the Baral's expertise. The other option would have been to try to pull into a scatter, which, I mean, the odds have to be good. We haven't seen one. We run 4 of them, and we haven't seen one in this whole game with all the draw that has happened and with the memory shuffling it back in. So, I mean, weird stuff happens, right? But come on now. All right, so Convergence has to go for sure. It'd be nice to find a way to deal with that bounty. There's only one cast out down there, but one got exiled too. Bounty is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Convergence is a potential end of the world. But let's... Maybe I'm supposed to open with Telling Time. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can go Nahiri, we can play Gideon, we can Tell Time, and then still Harness Lightning. So I am going to start with Telling Time because it might affect my sequencing. and whatever. Okay. I don't think censor is going to get cast again anytime soon, but it's better than land. Or though, I guess if I was going to cycle it anyway, I could have cycled it into the land, but I don't think that's a big deal. Alright, so Nahiri, now that Ulamog's out of the picture, let's hope there isn't a Pulse of Marasa. That would be a haymaker here. And I guess we get to work on beating him up. And I'll play the Gideon and let's see, make a knight and see what he wants to do with this worm. I tapped wrong. I should have left a red up. Hard to do everything right on Xbox. Bounty's gonna get him one card, but then we can deal with it. So I'm not that worried about Bounty in the long term. Okay, that's 4 cards. That's scary. That's a really good draw. Yep, take inventory, putting in work. Rawl's expertise, you got it. Bouncing my Gear Hulk, though. Don't know about that one. Putting down other bounty, oh boy. So, the battle continues. Jace, sure. Tapping out. Veggies. Yeah, go ahead. He thins his deck for one more. Let's harness that lightning, homie. I think the odds are still pretty good that I'll have to pull from tomorrow to keep up. But I could just leave him with bounties and hope he does deck himself. That's what I'd call a very bold move. That's a bold move. No glimmers either. My deck is being so weird. Just not, it's unnatural. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does that, and 6 mana does that, so that's how we kill Jace. Then the question is, do I remove bounties or not? If I don't, the decking thing is on the table, but so is getting back Ulamog and just killing me in one swing. What's the timeline like if I let him try to deck me? Or let him try to deck himself? 1, 2, 3 cards a turn is 3 turns? Yeah, I could just let him draw like crazy and force him to beat me. That's really bold, but I think it's the best. So, he used all his mana, but I don't think that's gonna happen again. Ooh, that'll keep me alive, but not against Ulamog. So, if he gets Ulamog back, yeah, all right. I think I have to pressure Jace at least a little. But I can always tag Jace if I need to, right? So let's make a knight. So I can play Disciple here, but if it gets targeted by Ulamog, it's gone. If he gets it back with a Pulse or a Green Warden. But if I play it after he casts Ulamog, he's pretty dead. So I'm gonna hold the Disciple. And this is gonna get fun. Yeah, thanks for the ideas. I think I'm with you guys. Raise Nahiri, try to deck him out. We have pull to try to equalize. I don't believe there's any May on this. It's automatic. At the beginning of your combat, remove all flood counters. If no counters are removed, put a counter on. Otherwise, and draw a card. Yep, not a May. Not a May. We could have a problem if he's running the other commit to memory. If he only has one, it's no big deal. If he has two, we could let him get way ahead. Oh yeah, pieces. Here we go. So we've got 2 displacement waves and a Nissa and a fog. Wow. If that other commit's down there, we have to set up for it. Displacement wave, sure. Are we passing? I believe both Scatter the Winds are in the graveyard. Find out. 1 Scatter. 2 Scatter. There may be a Gear Hulk. I don't have anything good to Gear Hulk back, though. If this pull gets countered, how bad off am I? Could be worse. Alright. Let's draw 8. There's all the glimmers. Still no scatters. Did I take them out? Or I swear spell shrivel. Like where's that's what I mean to say. Where's spell shrivel? I'm so confused. Drew 1. Had to get to the bottom 16 to draw 1 of what I believe is a 4 of. All this mana. Cast tower number 1. Tower number 2. And we're good. Don't need you. Actually, probably don't need you. I know the plan now. Let's see what happens. There is a Jace, sure. Not a big deal to me. 1 more loot. So that displacement wave did let him bounce his own bounties, which is a big deal. Bounce his bounties. And here comes the druids. What else you got? Down to 1 card. Things are certainly real. Axe the face, no problem. Does not bother me. Alright, let's start here. I'll take you. Let's try bolting your Jace. This Jace, so we don't get emblemed in case that was his plan for resolving memory. Alright. And we'll fire the other Glimmer. Yep. And let's bolt. I guess we don't mind if he activates that, so I'm gonna bolt one of his druids. And now we will untap, draw, 10 cards left. I could leave up all the shrivels, make him pay 12. The problem is, It's darn close to doing it, but not to cast Memory, which is really his only hope. And I could cast Disciple here. That would probably shore things up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Seems pretty good. Don't think much can go tragically wrong. I'm going to discard Kefnet and... yeah. The other one doesn't really matter. I guess Telling Time. And here we go. Opponents on the empty deck plan. They could use a Gideon emblem. New Gideon emblem, of course, I mean. The bounce spell? Sure, no problem. And the suicidal Jace. All right, we got it. Wow. Grindy. You just gotta grind sometimes, man. Holy cow. There were moments where that looked a little scary. Not gonna lie about that. We fought a ramp deck with, and I don't believe we countered a single spell until the Ulamog was countered by, what's that card? Censor. Actually, we censored 3 things, didn't we? So I can't say we didn't counter anything. We censored 3 things. Epic game, well done. Thank you. Appreciate that. There was a scary moment. What was on the board? Crush of Tentacles had an 8/8. There was a Sandworm Convergence that came out from under the cast out, made 5/5s. That was a little scary. Little scary. But we survived. And the impending threat of Ulamog Doom, we got it wasn't there when it would have been the most impactful. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one. It got pretty quiet. I can usually tell that the game is a good one if the chat's less chatty than usual, when everybody quiets down, wondering what the heck's gonna happen. Here we go. Somebody with a name, Not a Chance. They have a strong opinion about what's going to happen. No white mana for this Gideon, or this Blessed Alliance, but the hand isn't bad. I'm actually going to keep this. There's a chance of a turn 4 or turn 5 Gideon just that runs away with the game. Mort says it was on full screen. Yeah, buddy. Uh-oh. Red Wander is not what you want to see. But we have magma sprays for it if we can find them. Kefnet. One could say not what you want to see, but we'll see. We'll find out. We'll learn more from this Telling Time. Red Wander attacking. Will there be a follow? There will be a Wayward Servant. Let's see if we can dig Radiant Flames out of our deck. We cannot. We found our white source, and we found our magma spray. I really want all of these things. Very much so. But I guess the best are these two. So, it sucks to put a Harness Lightning down, but I think it's right. And let's play you. Give ourselves the most possible options. We could just throw Kefnet down, but I think Anguish Unmaking makes that potentially bad. And we'll leave this up. We might take a punch here, though. Yeah, that can't resolve. If we let that resolve with the plan to kill it later, it might just drain us, potentially multiple times, so it's gotta go. Interesting card that I don't see in the zombie deck hardly ever, as it is not a zombie, but particularly good against control. Alright. Big draw. We'll play that next turn with our Gideon. This turn, we can play Kefnet and leave up red for magma spray, and that's probably good. And we'll see if Declaration in Stone or something like that awaits us. Lord of the Accursed. I'm going to exile his servant. I know that Dread Wanderer can come back, but that doesn't worry me much, and it would have to trade with Gideon's Knight token, so the servant would be a 3/3 and attack right through the Knight token, even though I think the Knight token's probably to die, but that's still, you just want to make him use more resources. Down to 11. Nice. I approve this message. One white mana, what do you have? What could it be? I'm a little lost. I'm at a loss for words to figure it out. Maybe my opponent's just frustrated by the Radiant Flames? The fact that I would play such a card? This is another interesting point. The zombie deck has trouble recurring Dread Wanderer if it's playing against control because their hand often gets full of things like Fatal Push or Grasp of Darkness that don't do anything against me. So to get down to one card in hand is actually a little challenging. Alright, that's a good card to follow up with, but nothing else, so I'll take it. Dynavolt Tower, what do you do? But I think we'll go to the Gideon place. Seems like a good place to be. Our opponent may be able to play those said Fatal Pushes and such, but let's get the cards out of their hand. It'll be good. Let's make him attack Gideon and not me. There's the push. Now that they had Crypt Breaker, they can discard cards anyway. So I'd rather that they cast them instead of get zombies out of the deal. What game will be after MD and what do you think about it? I'm getting questions about something called MD and I don't really know what you're talking about. Magic 2015 had been better than this sad... Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. I don't think that this is bad at all. I think that this is the best Duels has been. So, that's my opinion, man. So do I start swinging at him? I guess so, right? And if I just keep making 2/2s, that's okay. But he eventually can just attack through that. If I swing at him, he has 4 turns. Knights or swinging? I think I just make knights. Make him go through me. It turns on his removal, but then he's not making zombies with it by discarding the Crypt Breaker. And here's Dynavolt Tower, and we just try to hold on long enough to start getting some Kefnet activations, get things going. He did not discard the Crypt Breaker. So what is in that hand? What would be in that hand at this point that you wouldn't want to discard the Crypt Breaker? Replaced by AI, but didn't concede, so I have to defeat the AI in this one. And now the discard. making the zombie. What's needed for kefnet, asks Lazybone. 7 cards in the hand. So if I block here, he just gets it back, but I think that's fine. I think that's a decent use of things. Force him to play it again. 7 cards in hand, so hopefully this is the turn we get to start using kefnet to draw up our hand and get in this. Nice. We did need you. We needed you. So what I'm going to do is we'll draw a card, and then we can return a land to our hand, and I'm going to return the Aether Hub and make some energy. Or now I'm not because I drew a land. I was going to, but now I'm not. And we can play that and get rid of you. Doing it main phase so he doesn't get to untap the Crypt Breaker and do something with it. And we'll make another knight to block your zombie. Just keep making him slog through night tokens. Buy me time, that's all I'm asking for. All you can ask for in this world is time. Okay. Again, I could block the Dread Wanderer, he just gets it back, so I'm actually going to block the zombie token, let Gideon fall to 2 loyalty. I think that's okay. And yep, no follow-up, so that's going to work out. Keep making them. Keep playing the lands. Go ahead. Now kefnet can start doing kefnet-y things. An option we had was to draw kefnet main phase and then replay like an Aether Hub, but I just want to hit my land drops. I want as many of them on the battlefield as possible. We'd have an extra land in our hand if we made that line, but we could potentially draw 2 cards would be the upside. Back in the Gideon, so if I charge you up, then I can't draw with kefnet. So I guess I'll spend another turn putting a knight in front. But I don't regret my decision, despite all the work the Wanderer is doing, of exiling the Wayward Servant earlier. Still think that was the right play at the time. If I'd known I'd draw Radiant Flames, maybe we'd do it differently, but I think it was the right thing to do. And there's a card. Woohoo! Alright, now we're starting to get some things going. Plus Gideon now. Get it off that 2 loyalty where it can't take a hit without dying. And we have other ways to kill and defend him now. Kill the Dread Wanderer and defend him now with the Fumaroles, the Tower. So we're getting it going. Things are heating up. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will try this. I'm kind of begging to get removal spelled, but I think that's okay. I do have the kefnet activation. I could return it to my hand if it gets targeted by removal. So it didn't happen. It could now, but this way we got the block in, and he didn't even get to replay it. Don't need censor, don't need a plains. There we go. Things are looking up. Swinging. Just need another turn here. I think I'll just pass. We've got the pull from tomorrow in hand. Here comes Gissa's bidding, sure. Let's go to the top rope. And now we can dynavolt. You are out of there. untap. I really do want to know what the last cards in that hand are. Maybe they're double white? But he discarded a plains at one point. I just don't know what's in the hand. If it's Grasp of Darkness, we're going to find out right now. Doesn't look like it. I have no idea. Maybe Murder? I guess Murder would make sense. Murder couldn't have killed either of those threats. Alright, woo! Got through that zombie list. Oh man, Gemini said he wanted to play zombies, but